If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. A subscriber pointed this out to me. This occurred about a year ago. And this is exactly what we all need to worry about in regards to the omniverse, the metaverse, the virtual world that now officially is really what we're all knowing as the Mark of the Beast system, where people are going to be connected through. And look, it's a very complex thing. I'm trying to point out why a certain ingredient needs to be inside of your body in order to connect to this system eventually. Again, making man and machine one, the mixing of iron and clay like the Bible talks about. This story from last year is frightening, but I want to point it out to you because in this battle, it's not just about knowing what the enemy's doing. Obviously, the hardest part for all of us, and for me, especially with my channel, is trying to wake up people who are asleep. A lot of you already are awake. And then there are a lot of younger people who are coming in and trying to figure things out and are completely lost. Some of it is way over their heads, which is understandable. When you're new to this process, I'm sure as most of you could imagine, when you first woke up, you weren't thinking about nanoparticles. A lot of people woke up from the event that happened on the 11th of September, really, or McMartin, like myself, or other things. Waco, Jonestown, all these CIA operations for the most part. But, waking up to things happening around the world, we have a younger group now waking up because they see what's going on with the outbreak. They have questions about it. They don't believe what they're hearing. They're seeing constant pushing of fear, and they're also recognizing that they're not seeing anything happening in the real world around them, only on the television. So hearing stuff about these ingredients and these things they're trying to put inside of people's bodies, mixing that, of course, with people becoming and pretty much living in virtual worlds, it all seems over the top, right? It's like Lawnmower Man type of crap. And I'm going to show you a clip, and then I want to talk about how these are the types of things that we're all going to run into when it comes to waking up our loved ones, our friends, anyone that you care about, anyone around you, someone in your church, someone up the road, me to people out there who listen to my channel, you if you have a channel, because we're going to run into things that are triggers. One of which, of course, is dreams. This concept of your dream, live your dream. MK Ultra mindset, MK Ultra CIA operation, I should say, about people living a dream, this whole narrative of a dream. It's all nonsense. All triggers in people's heads, fantasy land. And then, of course, the stuff we've seen with playing off of people's emotions of losing loved ones. And that's exactly what the metaverse is going to do, or the omniverse, or any of these virtual worlds are going to do. This is a clip from a year ago of a mother who lost her daughter to leukemia, which, of course, is a very tragic thing. And I've covered things like this before with women who have lost a child at birth, and they buy these dolls that are extremely lifelike. And I talked about the dangers of having those in existence because of the certain creeps out there that are into that. And a lot of them are very defensive of it. And it's a very sensitive topic to them. And I'm not going down that road talking about that. But people who lose loved ones, especially children, their lives are ruined. They never get over it. And they're going to play off of things like that to convince people to adopt to the virtual world. This is a mother who lost a daughter to leukemia, being convinced that she's re-meeting her daughter, give me a break, daughter, inside of this virtual world. It's very scary. Take a look.
엄마 어디 있었어?
엄마도 너 보고 싶었어. 나연아, 보고 싶었어. 나연아. 속 그리운 누군가가.
그렇기 때문에 저희가 실시간 렌더링 기반의
탁 나오니까 되게 좋더라고요. 새
Those are the types of things that you're going to see. And you're going to go, well, you can't expect or blame, you can't blame people for wanting things like that, right? But they have to snap out of it. But this ties into how they've weakened our society. We live in a society of cupcakes, softies, crybabies, wussies, pansies. I'm not saying that to try to sound tough. I have emotions. I get emotional about a lot of stuff. But we have a world that's super emotional. They cry over everything, right? And of course, losing a loved one is something you never get over and you cry about it. Losing a pet, losing anyone. Using that type of mind control will be a way that they persuade people into joining and getting involved in these virtual worlds. Oh, you can reconnect. They will be so hypnotized that they will believe that they are actually communicating with a loved one who is deceased, like it's some paranormal ritual, right? And we know when those things occur, when this seances, like you're speaking to your uncle, they're speaking to demons, okay? Pretending to be your uncle or your mother. Those things are real. Summoning spirits is real. Well, Christians should know that. It's not fake. I mean, I know there's stuff on TV that you see that are absolutely fake, where you have a guy talking. He's like, I'm seeing a dog and a couch and dog hair. And is his name start with a C? And the person's like, a Z, an F. And of course, he already has the information and then guesses the animal's name or the person's name. That's all phony baloney stuff. But we know the spiritual realm exists. And we know that these people summon spirits, but they summon evil spirits. And spirits sometimes present themselves as a loved one or something like that to deceive. Now, in the metaverse, this is going to be a way to persuade people. The biggest combination, the biggest threat we're going to run into with trying to get people to stay away from this stuff are two things: dreams and reuniting with a loved one, a deceased relative, a deceased pet, or something like that. Because they use the mindset of dreams, right? Which is the biggest facade that's ever existed. I mean, talk about a joke. I've always said that, my whole life. Ooh, it's your dream. Of course there's things I wanted to do with my life, and there's things that I did do that I wanted to do, and I've achieved them. But, that means nothing. It's not like oh, yeah, I did it. I'm talking about like this mindset of, oh, you could be a musician. Oh, you could be an actor. And people go to acting school, and then they're like, well, what do I do now? They're like, oh, drive to Hollywood. I'm like, oh, they drive to Hollywood. They're like, what do I do now? No, they're like, go be a waiter. What do I do now? I'll try to get somebody, who comes in, try to give them your headshot. Okay, what do I do now? I gave it to him. Give him a phone call. He didn't pick up. What do I do now? I mean, it's a never-ending bullcrap, waste of life, beat down, because that's what it does. The dream, the whole concept of the dream is the rat in the wheel, the mouse in the wheel. Not the rat in the wheel, the mouse in the wheel. Constantly running and chasing something you can never get. Because these are all controlled things. These actors aren't even actors. Their whole purpose is to socially engineer people. That's what they're there for. They're part of elite bloodlines. They don't give a crap about any of that stuff. Half of them, or not even half, more than them, all of them pretty much, when they take on these roles, are under possession, especially the musicians. We've seen them go on stage, they go backstage and they're like, I blacked out, I don't even remember. They do seances and rituals beforehand, like Ariana Grande, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj. It's a joke. So those are the things that we're going to have to fight against. That's why we need to be prepared. And don't think that this is going away, because it's not. I mean, there's stories coming out this weekend in the New York Times, all over the place. Plots of digital land are being sold. Look at this. A plot of digital land was just sold in the metaverse for $2.43 million. More than most homes in New York City and San Francisco cost. For a virtual home. You want to talk about taking a dump on your money? Somebody's like, no, it's cool. And they've talked about Snoop Dogg's doing this and all these celebrities. This is really occurring. And it's insane talk. It's like talking to people out of the loony bin, right? And they're like, this is great. And people are, there's a lot of people who are into crypto and all that stuff. So they think that this is wonderful and great. And they're just being duped, which is scary and sad because a lot of them are truthers, but they think it's like, they're like, we're going to take down the Federal Reserve. And, it's like I said a million times, the Federal Reserve would have taken them down, kind of like they did the Titanic many moons ago. Long story. If you don't know it already, maybe you should look into it. But you have people buying lands inside of a virtual world for $2.43 million. What does that even mean? What is the concept of that? Right? Think about it. What? Is that like going into your PlayStation and Sim City and you build a house and then you're like, I want to own it, and then you own it, but don't you own the video game? Yeah, but I own the house. Because it's going to be the new world that people live inside of. People are literally in the real world not even going to live in homes. They're going to live in little boxes, probably caskets connected to this system. I don't know how it's going to look or what it's going to be. It's going to be like people stacked on top of each other inside of little cubicle boxes, probably. But anyway, you have stories like that. This ain't going anywhere. This is the last step in this transhumanism agenda. And the prepping for this metaverse is something that we're all, omniverse, whatever you want to call it, this is something we're all going to have to fight against. And that means you're going to have to fight against family members who are going to want to see lost loved ones. They're going to get deceived beyond belief and comprehension. So you have to be aware of this stuff and be prepared for it so that you can fight against it. Because the last thing we want to see is any of our family members or loved ones who are Christian take the mark of the beast, or anyone who might not be, not understand this stuff and just take it because they think it's a good time and a good old fun. I feel like we're here now to stop people from doing it, that we're equipped to do that with our knowledge, with our skill sets, all of us. No matter how you do it, whether you're someone like me who has a voice, who was given a platform by God to be able to speak, even though they constantly try to take it away, whether you're someone who can write, you blog, you do whatever you do. You interact and communicate with people on an emotional level better, which, whatever it might be. But to fight against this and combat it, and we have to be aware of it. So dreams, these types of things, visiting with your deceased relative, deceased daughter, things that are going to play off of people's heartstrings are things to absolutely fear, even though we shouldn't have any fear, and we don't. But these are the ways they're going to manipulate people. So be prepared to see a lot of programming, predictive programming, just like what you saw here with the mother and the child. A reminder to check out my other channels. I have videos up over there you need to see if you haven't seen I can't say graphic. Tom Brady hooked up to a, just charging, plugging in video. It's pinned below. Definitely watch it and subscribe to that channel if you're there. This one will be gone with one more strike, and it could happen at any second. You never know with how YouTube works sometimes. All the time, really. I mean, they strike you for the weirdest things sometimes. Sometimes you put up a video, you're like, I might get a strike, and it lasts. I got another strike on one of my older channels for a video on a Marina Abramovich bullying her. I mean, really? It's bizarre. I had a strike for bullying Kristen Bell, the actress, at one point. So, I mean, stuff that is just total waste of time nonsense. So make sure you sub to my other channels. If you're not on the website at callfornuprising.com, I highly recommend you get over there as soon as possible. Join the site, share your info, interact, learn, fellowship, make friends. A lot of stuff, a lot of important things over there about off-grid communities, about ways that we can all stay connected, about things that we can do on our own while all this chaos continues to go on. Because we all do need to stick together despite small grievances and differences. You don't have to agree with everything I say. I'm sure I don't agree with everything that any of you say. That's not the point. In life, you're not going to... Do you agree with everything mom and dad say? Do you agree with everything your sister or brother say? Do you agree with everything your girlfriend or boyfriend says? I highly doubt it. Husband, wife, highly doubt it. But we got to, at this point in time, stick together. And I'm not this big speaker of unity. I've always kind of been a loner. But when it comes to this and it comes to being children of God, we have to, at the very least, help each other out during this time period. So check out the website if you haven't. And I appreciate all of you so much for being here. Thank you again. God bless all of you and your families.